Good morning, and welcome to your daily morning horoscope for Thursday, April 30th, 2026, Aries. Your mind is in great turmoil, so it isn't surprising that you can't pay too much attention to anything. It's as though your concept of the world has been inexorably changed, and you see the love life and career with new eyes. Even so, you feel compelled to pick up the pieces of the past and save them. The day ahead should help you get out of this old world and into the new. Taurus, the day will be fairly quiet for you. You're likely to yoke yourself to a task and continue working on it until the evening. If someone tries to persuade you to take a break, it won't be all that difficult to resist. This is one day when you would find your interest to be stimulating, so keep your head down and focus on the task at hand. Gemini, you should use the day to ponder on professional future. Many forces seem to be working together to clarify your ideas on this subject. Rather than rebelling at the slightest provocation, as you've already been doing lately, it would be much more reasonable that you think things first before making any final adjustments. Cancer, today is no time for dreaming. On the contrary, you can expect to have a settle of numbers in minor technical problems involving communications or transmissions. On the whole, it will be a somewhat tiring day, but at least your mind will be occupied, leaving no room for the difficult internal questions that have been bothering you much lately. Leo, are you getting hit with obstacles? Could it be that you simply need to allot yourself more time to complete the monumental task you take on? This might be difficult for you to tolerate. You don't know how to deal with times like these when you must continue doing the same thing over and over until you see the results that you need. There's a lesson for you, so remember, patience is the virtue. Virgo, are you having some problems with authority? Are you having a hard time making yourself understood? If so, have you thought about explaining your projects in detail to the people that you hope will follow you in the adventure? You can't expect everyone to follow you blindly. They too have their lives to live, as well as their own obligations and priorities. Libra, yes, your projects have taken some time to get set up, and this is because you haven't been concentrating hard enough. You are doing several things at once, with the result that things have been moving more slowly than you expected. Your change in orientation requires you to focus your energy in a single direction. However, the question remains, what direction? Scorpio, you don't have to create everything alone. Life isn't an individual sport, and to live life fully, you must participate. Often this involves interacting with other people. This is an exercise in confidence, and do you want to be with us or no? Regardless of your answer, outside events will lead you in a direction that you can neither predict or imagine. Sagittarius, when we have found our path, we naturally want to start to walk in it again. The reverse isn't true despite what you seem to believe. It's quite futile to learn how to walk when you don't know which path to walk on. This may seem a little obscure to you, but it's true. Desire is what creates aptitude, not the reverse. Capricorn, the astral energy is encouraging you to open up more to your world, culture, and ways of thinking. You don't have to go off alone into the desert to reinvent anything, and for you this would be the easier way out, because it would allow you to hide. Develop your curiosity about what exists in this society. Your opinion will carry the weight later on. Aquarius, how focused are you? You're so calm and collected. Of course, the mood is especially hospitable to sobriety. Reasonableness and hard work on the horizon is clear, and you have all the information you require to navigate the seas of life. All you need is a little more faith and courage. If you don't succeed today, you'll have no one to blame but yourself. Pisces, today you could at least express the secrets that have been troubling you. You may be seething with anger inside and afraid to let it show for fear it may explode on contact. Or you may be steaming by a concealed passion for some lucky special someone. The head will rule the heart today, and your mind will be unclouded by any haze of emotion. Perhaps you should take advantage of this day. This has been your daily morning horoscope for Thursday, April 30th, 2026. Do have yourself a great, blessed, and wonderful day.
Well, hi guys, good morning. It's Thursday. It is the final, it's the 30th, the final day in the month of April. Yeah, that's what it is. We're wrapping up April just like that. Well, good morning and welcome to the morning show. My name is Maureen. Let's head over to the news department. We'll be back.
Good morning. Time now for the news with me, Timothy Polio. A new era of collaboration is taking shape in St. Lucia's labor sector as government, employers and trade unions formally join forces under a newly launched tripartite advisory committee aimed at reshaping how decisions about the workforce are made in a rapidly changing world of work.
Employers are not only participants in the economy, we are partners in national development. We therefore approach this committee with a clear focus on practical, sustainable outcomes. Because ultimately, the strength of our labor market is reflected not in policy statements, but in workplace realities.
Trade Union Federation President Julian Monroe says the development comes after years of advocacy, creating a space for workers' voices in decision-making. Labor Minister Emma Hippolyte, who chairs the committee, highlighted the need for unified decisions on worker empowerment amid shifts in the world of work. 98% know the facts. 73% of girls are still too afraid to walk into a clinic. A troubling gap between awareness and action has prompted St. Lucia to launch a new Canadian-funded project aimed at breaking the stigma around adolescent sexual and reproductive health.
So REACH Project carried out a baseline in 2025 to really inform the direction and make sure we were grounded in what is the reality here in St. Lucia, as well as the other islands, Dominica, Grenada, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where we're working. And many of you contributed to the baseline findings. Thank you also for that process. REACH heard from policymakers, providers, civil society organizations, and youth as well in that process from St. Lucia and the other islands.
McIntosh highlights that while awareness is high, stigma remains a significant barrier to adolescent health care. Pre-launch research across the 4 islands revealed that 98% of youth are well informed about pubertal changes, reflecting the success of existing sexual health education. Thousands of Caribbean students preparing for May to June CXC exams are getting a vote of confidence, along with a first look at the future of regional assessment. The Caribbean Examinations Council CXC is set to launch its May-June exam season with a major new pilot program.
54 years ago, we were tasked with designing and implementing an indigenous assessment system for the Caribbean. While much has changed since then, there are some things which have stood the test of time. The cultural relevance of our syllabuses, the global recognition of our qualifications.
This year, roughly 2,400 candidates across 13 member states will pilot a brand new micro-credential called CTEC, the Caribbean Targeted Education Certificate, starting with math. Dr. Wesley also singled out students and teachers in Jamaica for special praise following recovery from Hurricane Melissa. He urged all candidates to protect their mental well-being, eat well, rest, and show up with confidence. And that's the news. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please join us at noon for our next news major, the Lunchtime Report. I'm Timothy Paulion. Good morning.
Thanks, guys. We must take a break now, but we'll be back. We're about to get into the features, and let me just give you a heads up. This entire set this morning is going to be surrounding a particular play that was unveiled, showcased here in St. Lucia by St. Lucia's Dr. Travis Weeks. We profited the opportunity and we went to view that play, Don't Call Me Baby Doll. And boy, that was a brilliant decision on our part, because what a wonderful masterpiece. What a wonderful, I mean, everything about it was heart-wrenching. There was everything in there that pulled you and put you sit down and say, stay there, don't move. And we didn't move until it was over. And even after it was over, you wanted more, you know. So we had a discussion that it might just have the capabilities of becoming a sequel as well. But let's one step at a time. Dr. Travis Weeks, kudos to you. And I had to pull him aside and say, come on now, sir. And that's the result of me pulling him on aside. Don't you dare call me baby doll. Travis, Mr. Dr. Travis Weeks. What a masterpiece.
I'm really happy you appreciated it.
Listen, appreciate, I think is not even a word that makes sense in this. This was captivating. This was edifying. This was relevant. This was history. This was now. This is future. This is so many emotions. So I went through so many transitions.
Yeah.
Experiencing this play. And we're not even going to the actors yet because they encapsulated what you wanted to put out there so possibly.
They love the script. Yeah.
Listen, we're going to talk about them in a minute, but I definitely need to talk to you now about, this play. This is the this is the first showing here in St. Lucia, isn't it?
No, we did it in Trinidad.
Yeah, but it's St. Lucia. It's the first time. Yeah, it's the first time in St. Lucia.
Yes.
Tell me about putting this together, Travis. Travis, no, something was going on there.
Yeah.
What was the mission?
A lot.
What were you trying to encapsulate?
Well, the first thing is that, I've been out of St. Lucia studying. I studied in Jamaica, studied in Barbados. But when I went to Trinidad, that's the first time I actually went to actually live in another territory.
Okay.
And, so immediately I felt like a migrant. Now it so happened that the time that I went to live in Trinidad was the time when you had the influx of Hispanics, particularly Venezuelans, but you also had a lot of Cubans who were migrants trying to survive.
Right.
And I'm in Trinidad and I could be with anybody else, but I started to identify with the migrants. And I was living in an area of Europe where many of them lived. So I just felt like one of them. I was a migrant too.
Right.
So I got close to many of them and I started hearing their stories and so on, that is both the Cubans and Venezuelans and their dreams for a better life,
Right.
And the Cubans actually had dreams of going over to the US and so on. And many of them did go on the Biden. They managed to go. By the time Trump, they couldn't go anymore. Mm-hmm. So in a sense, that really is what brought me into that kind of social context and that kind of social realism and so on.
Right.
And I started thinking about their stories and wanting to share their stories. But
with the hope of what?
I think that I didn't think there was enough empathy. One thing about the play you realize is that I'm trying to give an insight into the human being, to people.
Yes.
I
got that, but my viewers will be, because also another thing of note is that you took the angle where, here we are, we're all in this space, we are all really and truly, based on the space that we are in, we are regarded in the same light. But yet still, this little one over here thinks I'm a little more superior than this one here. And then, and you as like a bridge in the middle is getting it from the both sides. So you were able now, through your insight, to be able to bring it together and show them.
Right.
You're looking at it here, you are looking at it, but really and truly, the both of you all are in the same boat, literally.
That's it.
And you captured that so beautifully. You captured this so eloquently, whilst you gave an insight of why we are here.
Yeah.
What brought us here? The history part of it.
That's
to help us to better connect.
That's it.
To help us to realize that, none of us asked for this.
Because some of us don't realize sometimes that the impact of colonization is still with us.
It is.
We don't realize, we just think, well, it's history. But it's there.
It's there.
Still
in the mentality.
That's it. They are Hispanics. They're supposed to be Spanish, but they're not really Spanish because they're outcasts. Spain benefited from so much, and they now are left without, and they floundering. And not just that, they're pawns, between America, between Spain, between the big powers.
Oh, we all are.
Right. And interestingly, Trinidad, in a sense, is the same way.
Of course.
Because so many people came to Trinidad and helped make Trinidad. But, but yet there are some kind of discrepancies there as well.
Oh, we know about that.
All these dynamics,
it's mixed up in there. But, what are you hoping? because it was aired in Trinidad, it's aired now. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if you have any other
Well,
viewing.
I'm really
tours around.
hoping to do a
Where do you wanna
Caribbean
go with
tour.
it? Yes, please.
Caribbean
This
tour.
needs to be. I
And
was
even
saying to you,
beyond,
this
yeah.
needs screen.
Yes,
you know,
yes,
because
yes.
I think it's an opportune time now.
Yeah.
It is the right time with everything that is happening around us
Yes.
for us to understand ourselves as a region, as a one, as a collective.
Absolutely.
So I think this is so timely, Travis.
Absolutely.
I
And you're right, you got it at the core, because another objective is to show that we are one people. We are one people, all affected by history in different ways. Why we want to play like one is bigger or better or stronger, whatever. We want and we all contributed.
and unless we
And in
get
a
that
sense-
right,
Right.
we're going to remain the pawns.
That's it. And in the sense too that we all were pushed around, like one of the characters say.
So who is to say and who is to say? And you could not have just slide on past the two actresses who brought this script to life, and we caught up with them. But first we spoke to Ruby Parris. She played the role of Isabella. I can't even say it with the Venezuelan accent, but listen, this is Ruby. Then you'll understand why. I am tempted to call her baby doll, but she said, "Don't call me baby doll." This is Ruby. On set, Isabella. Ruby, what a wonderful and remarkable execution of that piece, of that script
Thank you
from
so
Travis.
much. Thank
I can
you.
tell you enjoyed it.
We did. We really had a lot of fun with the script, but of course the script takes so many turns and there's so many layers to these women, so many layers to these characters. And you know, as a Trinidadian, you see Venezuelans everywhere, but they're just a face you're passing in the street. You don't really sit there to think about, oh well, what's their story? Like, you know it in theory,
Yes.
but in the script, exploring the why just
Yeah.
puts so much more understanding and empathy and grace toward the everyday person we're passing. And it's not to say that this migrant story is unique to just Trinidad.
Trinidad, yes.
You know, in some way, every island, every country in the world is dealing with their own migration issues and treating
I'm
migrants
Canadian living in St. Lucia.
Then you understand.
I understand.
You understand.
I don't understand.
You understand.
I understand.
Because
What I was about to ask you that on a deeper level, because
Yes.
you're Trinidadian,
Yes.
and yes, that is the norm over there.
Yes.
From a personal perspective, I think you answered some of it already, but I really would like to go a little bit deeper with this.
course.
In terms of how has this script, getting involved, unfolding it, acting it out, having a deeper understanding of what it is that is actually happening, not from just the standpoint of,
course.
a passerby.
Of course.
And you're just moving along.
As somebody
How has
who walked in her shoes.
Right. How has that affected you? How has that changed your perspective?
Girl, I cried so many times. It's one thing, of course, to see someone as a passerby. It's another thing to walk in their shoes and to sit with that pain and to sit with that grief and to sit with that fear of never knowing when it will be over, never feeling like you belong, feeling like an outsider, feeling like an outcast. And a lot of the times, I would say to my friends, I'd say to my family, like, I can't speak to you right now because a lot of Isabella's energy is sitting with me, and it's so sad, but it's also so much strength in it as well. Like, she's a fighter. She's
Yes.
not backing down.
Absolutely.
I saw elements of that within my own personality, of things that, in general, as Caribbean people, we mask a lot with comedy.
Yeah.
We mask a lot with humor.
Yeah.
And if you really sat with someone and had conversations with them and dug deeper, you'd see that everybody has a story. Everybody at some point has felt as if they don't belong, has felt as if their presence is not wanted.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we always get compliments of being resilient people, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, its own way, resilience has worked against us.
Yeah.
Because
In
it
so
doesn't
many
allow
ways.
the vulnerability
Yes.
for us to connect on the reality of all of us feeling the same pain, you know?
Now, you've been an actor for how long?
Girl.
An actress, sorry.
technically my whole life.
Right. Well, I can tell. I
acting
kind
since I
of
was
like to tell. I
4.
kind of like to. I kind of pick up that.
But professionally, over 10 years. So
Right.
just on maybe 13 years now.
Right.
Yes, so I did my master's in acting and
Right.
I went back to Trinidad just before COVID, got stuck in Trinidad in COVID, ended up getting a job as a full-time actor.
Wow.
And then that just kind of snowballed. And I mean, it's taken me to different parts of the world I never thought or dreamed of being able to see. Like, I've worked in London, I've worked in Dubai, I've worked in different parts of the Caribbean. And it's been truly, truly an honor to be able to pursue a dream that many people treat as a hobby.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to ask you,
Sure.
where does with all of that has happening in your career, where does this particular "Don't Call Me Baby Doll" falls on the scale in terms of ratings that you've been a part of?
Honestly, top 3 easily.
Yeah.
Top 3 easily. I think the only thing that has me like toggling between 2 and 1, 2 and 1, 2 and 1 is the fact that I believe that this play can go anywhere, but the other play I'm thinking of can also go anywhere. But it's Caribbean stories. Both of them are Caribbean stories. And the beautiful thing about telling a Caribbean story is that it's a reflection of us.
Us, yeah.
And we need to see us on stage. We don't need to see it. We can, yes, appreciate international stories on stage, but there's something about Caribbean stories that just hit us differently and make us sit with ourselves, sit with our thoughts, sit with the things that we generally took for granted or treat as normal.
Yeah.
You know, and question it, challenge it. That's what art is supposed to do.
Appreciate it at the
And
same time.
appreciate
Because a
it,
lot of the time,
exactly.
they had made us think that certain things about us was just off, and we were supposed to not embrace it.
Correct.
Certainly. It's about time we start telling our own stories.
Yes, I agree.
Listen, Ruby, you're gorgeous.
Oh, so are you.
You gotta give me the Venezuela again.
And you want me to talk like this? Yes, please. What do you want me to say?
You gotta love her. Listen, you're brilliant. You executed
you.
brilliantly.
Thank you so
and
much.
it was a
Thank you
joy
for
looking at
coming.
you. Quesnel played the role of Maria, the Cuban refugee in all of that. And boy, did these ladies seal this. They captured every essence of this. They became the role. They became that character, and they embodied, they delivered. Oh, we had to catch up with her as well. And it's just the two of them, you know. But they are brilliant. So I had to speak to Maria. Yeah, Quesnel. The other lead actor in the Travis Wicks Don't Call Me Baby Doll.
Yes.
And I'm not going to call you Baby Doll because
Please don't call me Baby
I
Doll.
thought it was a nice thing when I heard the Baby Doll. I said, oh, yeah. And then when I realized, I said, oh, God, don't make that. I don't want to be called Baby Doll either. You know, and you did, just like Ruby, the both of you executed this like brilliant. You really took on the character.
Yes.
I could tell you were having so much fun with this.
We were.
Like I was, for a moment, I was trying to figure out, did they actually go through this thing? They leave this moment or what? Because I can't believe they're acting this out. This got to be real at some point in time. That's how good it was.
Yeah, but Travis wrote a brilliant script. It was easy. Like the first time we read it, I told Ruby, like, this is easily like top 3 of the plays we would have ever done. I've been working with Ruby for a very long time, so the chemistry is easy. That's
Right.
my sister.
Okay.
We did our undergrad.
You give us so much talk on set. 40 Venezuela, yeah? And then the Cuban thing, they're superior. You get me? Right. Right.
But it was really easy working with both Travis and Ruby.
Right. Now, tell me a little bit about your career in acting. How long did you acting?
I've been acting for about 16, 17 years now. So I started off in high school. Luckily for me, I went to a high school that had performing arts.
Okay, great.
So Form 1, I was introduced to theatre. But I came from a musical family, like a musical background. I always loved the stage.
Right. I can tell, girl. Woo.
Lights, camera, action.
Action.
But once I was introduced to theatre in Form 1, I really fell in love with it, honestly. And luckily for me, I got to work with somebody, Belinda Barnes, who was like one of the pioneers, who worked with Derek, who worked with.
Oh, girl.
So
It's your first time in St. Lucia?
first time. Could you believe it?
Come on now.
I did a layover once, but I never come off the
No,
plane.
no.
But this time I come off the plane.
Yeah, this is the start of something great. You can't have been so intertwined in the whole thing and now reaching here, but
No, St. Lucia is
First time for them.
lovely. You guys hosted us so amazingly this week. We got to see the sights. We got to really get in touch with the culture.
Right.
And it made us appreciate the play on a different level as well, because that whole melting pot idea of, we think about melting pot as the internationals coming into our space, but we forget that we're a melting pot right here amongst the islands and amongst ourselves.
Absolutely. Now, in terms of acting in the region, I mean, we're going to come to personally in a while, because this is the second night in a row. You guys are doing this like, that's a lot. You're the only two actors that is playing all of the different roles. So seamlessly at that, you know, switching to the accents and the language and the characters, and for almost 2 hours, 2+ hours.
It's tiring. I won't lie. I'm tired.
two days straight.
A
you know,
lot out of you. But I mean, that's what we train for.
Right.
That's what we train for. When I started acting in the Caribbean and Trinidad, I just constantly was striving for more.
Right.
And I had kind of reached my peak with what I could do professionally in Trinidad, and then I went abroad. So I did my master's in acting at University of the Arts in London.
Nice.
And I also did a stint in Russia as well, because I really wanted to delve deep into physical theatre. I love
I know you can tell that.
So I've been through a lot of like rigorous training, which has kind of prepared me for roles and plays like this where it's so intense.
Right. What are some of the ways in which that you think we could collaborate even more? Because this is a brilliant collaboration here. Amongst ourselves as the Caribbean, we keep talking about we need to start telling our stories, you know, but somehow, just like the play is sort of insinuated, we tend to think that we're for here, this one is this one is that.
Correct.
We still have this segregation amongst ourselves in many ways. How do you, after working on this play, and you actually portraying through Travis Weeks, the lens of Travis Weeks, the importance or how much of a benefit it will be to us when we realize we are really on this in this weird one boat. The same boat, you know, like you guys fashioned it. What do you think that we can continue to do, you know, in that field, in terms of all the other areas in which we can better collaborate?
As simple as what we're doing now. Like we have these festivals that happen in each island, and I think most people aren't really aware of it in terms of like how easy it is to come here. Just for example, this week's Travis took us up to Sir Arthur Lewis.
Yes.
And we met some of these students, we met some of his past students who are doing amazing things in film, and we're connecting.
Right.
So it's really just connecting and networking with young filmmakers, young writers, old writers, seasoned writers as well. I think if writers from Trinidad could come here and workshop with actors here and vice versa, that's how we get more intertwined with the work itself.
Yes.
And like just work together, guys. Come on.
I know. Well, we appreciate what you did.
Yes.
I know you're tired, you need to get some rest, but honestly, what a brilliant showing you guys put on, and we were not disappointed. We are happy that you pushed the boundaries.
I'm so glad
and you gave us 2 nights of those.
Yes.
Brilliantly, well executed.
Thank you.
And what an advocate for Caribbean unity, because it's one thing to have a script that puts out something there. It's another thing to embody that and bring that true essence out. And that is what you and Ruby did here tonight. And it was brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're so sweet. Guys, listen, man. I had a wonderful time looking at that play. That play, it changed, it touched something deep within me, because Travis captured everything that I embodied, everything that I've been seeing, everything that I've been noticing, and he was able to put it together in this form, you know. And I believe, this is my personal belief, you know, based on how I think and how I socialize, I believe that this play, every Caribbean people should have the opportunity to view and you know, indulge, you know, that play, digest this play. So I don't know what, Linda is very much on this thing, and we got to give her kudos as well. She's always very supportive. Linda Daher, DBS. So, you know, we try to see how it is that we could probably, I don't know if we can get some sort of way. Travis, come on, we need to speak, because we need to find a way where we could get this thing to be viewed, you know, to air on DBS so people can see it. I mean, we're that passionate about what it is you put together there. So I don't know how it is going to happen, but let's see. We're going to try to see if it's possible. But yeah, that's our show for today. As we leave today on this Thursday, the final day in April, I think if you've been paying attention enough to me, you'd probably realize I'm a Stoic. I sort of like embody how they think, how they live, their way of life, their way of thinking, their way of processing things. Yeah, I think it's safe to say I'm a Stoic. So I'm going to leave you with this one from Epictetus that says, wisdom without action is just entertainment. Wisdom without action is just entertainment. So when you've acquired wisdom on something and you fail to act on it, what's the point? Yeah? You're just being entertained and then that's it. You go on and, something to ponder upon as you go on out and you wrap up the month of April, whatever it is you're going to be doing later or whatever. We'll see you back here again. No, tomorrow's a holiday. Oh, yes, tomorrow's a holiday. Yes, tomorrow's a holiday. So it's going to be May Day. Workers get to celebrate. It's a time for you to enjoy the fruits of your labor, literally. So whatever it is that you're going to be doing tomorrow to represent for that day, do it with pride. Do it with pride. And enjoy your weekend. It's going to be a long one. And God willing, we'll be back again on Monday for another DBS This Morning. Enjoy your long weekend.